Okay. Either plum.
And just move. Okay, bye, bye, bye.
Hi, Lauren. Can you hear me?
I can. Sorry, I was waiting in the wrong room.
Okay, no bother. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the June CNPA Planning Committee meeting. For those members of the public joining us today, either virtually or in person, I am Russell Jones, the convener of the Park Authority's Planning Committee. Today's meeting will also be streamed live on the Cairngorms YouTube channel. Before we go any further with the meeting, I'm going to ask the clerk to the board to run a roll call. Thank you, Alex.
Jiva Blackett,
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Sandy Bremner,
Good morning.
Jackie Brereton,
Good morning.
Peter Cosgrove,
Good morning.
Kenny Deans,
Good morning.
Paul Gibb,
Here.
Hannah Grist,
Good morning.
Russell Jones,
Here.
Bill Lobin,
Here.
Steve Micklewright,
Yeah, I'm here.
Lauren McCallum,
Good morning.
Eleanor McIntosh,
Here.
Ian McLaren,
Good morning.
Fiona McLean,
Morning.
Anne Ross,
Good morning.
Derek Ross,
Here.
Michael Williamson.
Present.
Thank you, Alex. Members, to help move the business forward effectively, please keep your questions succinct and to the point, focused on clarification of technical or planning issues. Once we have moved into the discussion phase of an application, it would be helpful if members could indicate at an appropriate point if you are minded to put forward any proposal regarding the officer's recommendations. Please raise your hand to indicate that you want to speak. During the meeting, please make sure your microphones are muted unless you are speaking to ensure premium sound quality on the live stream. Should a member wish to pull together an amendment to the motion on any of the items today, a breakout room is available and the details are on your board memo. You will be joined there by Peter Ferguson, our legal advisor from Harper McLeod, who is attending today's meeting. Good morning, Peter. Item 2, members, minutes of the previous meeting on 24th of April 2026. Can I ask if the committee is content with the accuracy of the minutes from the meeting on 24th April 2026? Thank you. Can I assume the committee is happy to approve these minutes?
Agreed.
I will move a motion to take the draft minutes from our confidential session on 24th April at the end of this public session. Item 3, matters arising. We have no action point updates and no other matters arising from the previous meeting. Item 4, declarations of interest. Do any members wish to declare an interest in any of the items on the agenda today? Paul Gibb.
Yep, I need to declare an interest in item 6. Before I became deputy convener, I met with members of the golf club and made comments that could be viewed to be supportive, and I'll therefore not take part in the process.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Any other members? Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to the first item of business today, item 5 on our agenda. This is an application for detailed planning permission for the erection of an agricultural storage shed, a retrospective, at land 31 metres southwest of number 1 Keeper's Cottage, Revac, Grantown-on-Spey. This will be introduced by Katie Crowder, Planning Officer, and the recommendation is to approve subject to conditions. Good morning, Katie.
Morning. Thank you, convener. Okay, so the application site lies approximately 2 kilometres to the south of Grantown-on-Spey on Revac Estate and is approximately 100 metres southwest of Revac Lodge. It is accessed via an existing private track which connects to the B970, which is around 600 metres to the northwest of the site, which you can see is marked within the red line boundary. This one's maybe a little bit clearer. So here's the aerial view of the site. It's a wee bit unclear, but the site was previously predominantly plantation on ancient woodland site woodlands, so it's referred to as PAWS, on a north-east facing slope. The PAWS woodland on the site, which extended to 1/3 of a hectare, has since been felled, and the site's been reprofiled and levelled in the centre to create an open flat area where a large agricultural storage building has been built. In addition to the road red line, which you can see on the plan there, the other red line extending sort of to the northeast, that shows the development site's connection to the estate's water supply and surface water soakaway. So I think it's just helpful to provide a bit of context for the site before the development had taken place. So here you can see the sort of red line boundary of the site, although it isn't the exact isn't the exact red line boundary of the development site. This was a plan from before it had been built. But you can see in the red rectangle there where the storage shed is proposed. So it's maybe a little bit difficult to see, but you can sort of see the contours there of the slope, along with the existing track that kind of runs around the sort of western edge of the site. And it connects to another track which runs along the sort of southeastern boundary of the site. Oh, sorry, and I also just point out there, you can see Rayvac Lodge kind of on the right-hand side there, which is nearby, and you've got Keeper's Cottages, which is part of an old sort of traditional steading. So it's sort of lies close to the existing buildings on Rayvac. So looking more closely at the development site itself, the plan is slightly confusing here as it's been sort of spun around, but you can see that the slope has been excavated and reprofiled to create a levelled area of hard standing, with steeper surrounding edges which connect to the existing track above and the woodland. The storage building has been built in the centre of the levelled area, as you can see the footprint on the plan, and with a large area of hard standing extending to the northwest, where the access track comes in, and that's sort of on the right hand side of the picture, and then there's also hard standing, as you can see, around the edge, around the sides of the building. So I've just included this plan just to more clearly show the reprofiling of the slope that was undertaken, and you can see the position of the shed there. But looking at the shed itself, so it's steel framed with concrete walling to the base. It's rectangular in form. It measures just over 30 metres long by 18.5 metres wide and has a pitched roof with a ridge height of just over 9.5 metres. The exterior walls are clad in plastical coated profile sheeting in juniper green, and the roof is finished in cement fibre roof panels with skylights, which you can see there on the plan, on the elevations. There are 3 vehicle entrances with roller shutter doors and adjacent pedestrian doors. So you can see one on the northwestern elevation and then a further 2 on the northeastern elevation. So internally, the building is divided into 3 separate spaces: a biomass boiler room, a wood, which you can see on the bottom right, a wood chip store, which is on the top right, and a tractor and storage shed there on the left. The biomass boiler room houses a biomass boiler and wood chip bin feeding it, as well as a hot water tank. And this is used to provide heating to the rest of the estate. The biomass and the wood chip store is obviously used for storing the material needed for the biomass boiler. The tractor and storage area is a large open space with a smaller storage room and within a separate boot room. And the building has been connected to the existing water supply, the private water supply and surface water soakaway on the estate. So plans have been provided for compensatory planting, which propose to compensate for the pause woodland that was removed to accommodate the development. This will be provided through off-site planting of 2,760 native tree saplings. These will include silver birch, oak, Scots pine, rowan, bird cherry, holly and aspen. And this is across 1.65 hectares of improved grassland, which is also next to existing woodland. The off-site planting location is very close to the development site. You can see it just up in the top left corner. So it's very close. And the proposed compensatory planting would achieve a planting ratio of approximately 1 to 5. So that's the ratio of removed woodland versus the proposed planted woodland. So this is the front of the storage building from the north. This is from the where you come in, where the access track comes in. So you can see the area of hard standing and the shed itself. And up on the right hand side, you can see the existing track that heads up the slope. So this is it just a bit more closely, and you can see the woodland behind. So this is from the from northwest of the development site. So again, you can see the existing the track there with the shed, and again that area of hard standing in the north of the site. And this is towards the back from the western edge of the development site. Here you can really see, or hopefully see, the kind of the reprofiled edges that's which are quite steep, and the shed itself. And again, you've got the woodland and the existing track on the left hand side there. Again, that's just to see the existing woodland that surrounding the site, and again the track and the site itself. And this is just to the back of the shed from the southern corner. Again, it's a slightly gentler slope there on the right hand side, and then you've got the steeper edge, mainly around the western edge of the site, which is currently quite bare. It's revegetating a very little bit, but it's pretty sparse. And then this is the northeastern elevation of the shed. So this is this is where there's the two accesses into the tractor shed and the biomass area. So in terms of the principle of the development, the site is located on Rayvac Estate, and the proposed storage building has been built to support estate operations. It's understood that the building was constructed to provide secure on-site storage for plant, equipment and materials for the upgrading works required on the estate, and to house the new biomass boiler facility. The storage building is compatible with the wider functions of the estate and is acceptable in principle, subject to the detailed consideration of the impacts on other considerations. However, as such, it complies with NPF 4 Policy 29 for rural development and the Local Development Plan Policy 2 for supporting economic growth. In respect of landscape and design, it is recognised that the buildings at Rayvac are all set within a wider context of woodland, and the Park Authority's landscape advisor is satisfied that this limits the visual intrusion from out with the site. In addition, the design, materials and colour of the building are characteristic of estate buildings within this rural area and are generally acceptable. However, the loss of the woodland on the development site, in conjunction with the erection of a 9.5 metre high agricultural building, has created a localised impact on its immediate surroundings, which is compounded by the absence of any sort of landscaping or planting around the shed itself. So due to these more localised impacts, further on-site native planting and landscaping will be required to soften the felled woodland edges and better integrate the building within its immediate surroundings. And this will be secured through a condition requiring a landscape and biodiversity enhancement plan. But subject to this landscaping condition, the design of the building is broadly acceptable and complies with the development plan policies. In respect of environmental impacts, this retrospective application has resulted in the permanent removal of 1/3 of a hectare of pause woodland, which consisting of Scots pine and larch. In this case, the entire development site has been cleared and the soils excavated, meaning that the restoration and restocking of the development site would not be able to restore the ancient woodland that has been lost. It's acknowledged that there is a presumption against the removal of ancient woodland unless it can achieve wider public benefit, which is not evident in this case. However, in cases where it is considered acceptable, compensatory planting is required to be provided. This application proposes native compensatory planting of 1.65 hectares, which, as mentioned, is a ratio of 1 to 5, which is considered acceptable to compensate for the loss of this woodland. We have to acknowledge that as the woodland cannot be restored, consideration has to be given to achieving the best outcome in what is a finely balanced and less than ideal situation. In addition, no pre-construction checks or surveys for protected species or birds were undertaken prior to the site clearance or construction, and the biodiversity enhancements that were proposed lie out with the development site. Therefore, a preliminary ecological appraisal carried out by a suitably qualified ecologist has been conditioned to accurately establish the ecological baseline of the site and inform a full on-site landscaping and biodiversity enhancement plan. This will not only improve the development from a landscape perspective, but also enhance on-site biodiversity in accordance with the relevant natural heritage policies. In terms of renewable energy, a substantial part of the storage building is used to house a biomass boiler, water tank and wood chip store, which provides the source of heating for 3 buildings on the estate, including Rayvac Lodge. Biomass is a renewable source of heating, and it's not considered that the system has any impact on the special qualities of the national park or will result in any cumulative effects, so complies with the relevant energy policies. And finally, in terms of access, the storage building is not accessible to the public and will not generate significant levels of traffic. There's an appropriate existing access to the site via a private track, and there's room for vehicle parking around the building. So overall, the access arrangements are acceptable in accord with the relevant access policies. To conclude, the proposal will support the ongoing maintenance operations of Rayvac Estate as well as accommodate its biomass system. The principle of the storage building is compatible with the wider functions of the estate. It's acknowledged that the proposal has